Welcome to another episode of the Hockey Hour. Jace Gabriel here with you as always, and well, a very late sub in. We've got Jane unfortunately unwell, and we've got back one of our favourites from earlier in the year, Joce Bartram. Welcome back, Joce.
Thanks for having me, Jace. Good to be here.
Great to have you back. We had a great episode earlier on with you and delved into some fascinating topics. And we've got another great show with Joce coming up. I'll go through all the Hockey WA news shortly. We will have some of your mailbag questions, a wrap of the men's and women's Stiles Electrical Premier League from over the weekend. And I can tell you, things are getting very, very interesting. We will then chat to Kye Stirrat from the Vic Park Hockey Club. And we will, in the Around the Ground segment, chat to the Chief Growth Officer at Hockey Australia, Suzanne Henderson, who's going to let us know everything happening with the growth for hockey in Australia and what Hockey Australia are working on. Finally, we're going to end with extra time. And because we've got Joce, we're going to focus on more of a goalkeeping related extra time. But as always, if you haven't caught any of the previous episodes, go check them out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Give us a like and follow us. Make sure you do that so then we can find out what you want to know, and that can come through the mailbag, which obviously comes out on Instagram. But let's get straight into the Hockey WA news, Joce. You're going to take us away. There has been more movement in the Hockey One.
Yeah, the Hockey One just keeps getting bigger and bigger, it seems, this year. Canberra Chill have been busy. They've had a few releases this week with a new international signing, Koji Yamasaki. I hope I've said that right. A Japanese international. He becomes the 8th Japanese player to pull on the Chill colours and has scored 72 goals in 137 games for Japan. So some real strike force up front that they seem to have recruited there. Also heading to the Canberra Chill is Tom Craig. He was across from the New South Wales Pride.
Huge.
Yeah, massive news there. He's followed along with Alice, who I'm sure you've announced has moved earlier in the year. But yeah, the Canberra Chill have really bolstered their stocks in their men's team this year, so will be a force to be reckoned with. Lockie Sharp has also made a move away from the New South Wales Pride.
Yes.
He's heading north to Brisbane Blaze.
Is that like sacrilege for going from New South Wales to Queensland?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit like poo-poo, doesn't it? Going across the state of origin rivalries there, but no, he's out to Brisbane Blaze for a beautiful reason, to spend some more time with his partner Morgan Matheson, who also plays for the Brisbane.
Makes sense, yeah.
Very lovely reason to be moving up there, that is. The Adelaide Fire has also had a bit of an extra bolster this week. They've announced Georgina Doward, who's moving over from the Perth Thundersticks. She was a part of their premiership winning team last year. Laura Barden, ex-Hockey-Roo, heads over from Hockey Club Melbourne to the Adelaide Fire as well. And Leon Haywood is making a return to Hockey One, shifting from his last club, the Tassie Tigers, across to the Adelaide Fire to join his brother Jeremy.
Yeah, the
Haywood brothers.
They're back together again, the Haywood boys. Now, we've talked about this with Jane. Do you like this movement?
I think, yeah. Look, I think it's good for the league. I think it had to happen at some stage. We couldn't just keep having the same teams being so strong. Do I like that players are moving away from my team? Really? But I think it's going to make it such a tight, exciting Hockey One that I think it'll be really great for the fans.
Yeah.
And it'll make every game count for every team.
Yeah. It's going to be a fantastic Hockey One season. Let's look at international hockey next, because the Oceania Cup is coming up and the Kookaburras and Hockey-Roo squads have been announced. So make sure you go and check those out. WA athletes that have been selected, James Collins and Cam Geddes have been named for the Kookaburras. Caitlin Nobbs, Alicia Power, Courtney Chanel and Carrie Somerville named for the Hockey-Roos. Of course, it's going to be held in Darwin from the 4th to the 7th of September, and you can always catch the action live and free on 7+. Unfortunately, you won't be there because of injury, which is very sad. But are the girls and the group looking forward to playing New Zealand?
Oh, definitely. The girls have been training really hard. They're in really good shape at the moment, so I'm really excited to see them take on New Zealand. We know it's always going to be a tough ask. They love to compete against Australia as we love to compete against them, but awesome preparation for the World Cup next year, and really looking forward to watching both the Hockey-Roos and the Kookaburras on 7+ as I cheer them on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, Thundersticks tickets are on sale.
Yeah, Hockey One's coming around the corner. Single game tickets to the Perth Thundersticks home matches for the upcoming 2025 season are on sale now. Just like last year, kids under 18 will go free with a paying adult to matches. And so there's no better way to kick off the year, well, finish the year off actually, than a day out at the hockey. It's always beautiful weather in that October-November period. It's such a great atmosphere down at Perth Hockey Stadium. So come on down. The Perth Thundersticks play their first game against the Canberra Chill on Sunday, the 19th of October. That's their first home game. They then play against Hockey Club Melbourne on the 2nd of November, and they'll finish their season against the mighty New South Wales Pride on the 23rd of November. So come on down, jump onto the Hockey WA website for full details.
If you're going to get any of those tickets, Joce wants to get the New South Wales Pride ones.
I'll be there then.
All right. Thank you, Joce. Let's get into the mailbag. We only have a couple of questions this week, so couple of good ones, actually. Let's start with number 2. Will Collins _2 has asked our predictions for the men and women's Stiles Electrical Premier League. So he's asked for the top 4. Now, top 5 is both finals ladders. I'm assuming he's meaning on where they sit at the end of the season. So let's go with that, because at the moment the women are set, so their top 5 is set. But I'll get your thoughts on the men, because that can still change. The top 3 are set, so Fremantle, Coburn, Vic Park and UWA are all locked in to the top 3. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, it sure does.
YMCC, Melville, Reds, Hale, and probably Westside Wolves, although it'd be a little bit more difficult for Westside Wolves, are all able to be finishing in 4th or 5th. Who do you like out of those 2?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? There's 5 up for 2 spots. Look, I'm a Reds girl this year, so I'm gonna put the Reds boys in there, hoping they can have a good win against Fremantle that tips them over the edge. But even if they do that, they still might not make it. So
yeah, it's crazy.
It's a crazy week ahead. And then YM play Melville this week. That could determine things. I don't know. I'm going to say YM and Reds.
YM and Reds. Yep. Okay. I'm going to go with Melville and Reds to make it. Actually, I'm going to go Melville. Yeah, Melville Reds. Let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. But stay tuned, because we will go through the wrap of the Premier League very shortly, and we'll give you all the potential outcomes that might happen.
Yeah. Definitely. There's a lot of math involved in this.
Yes, there's certainly going to be, with goal differences and the like. Let's go to question 1, who's sent from Anonymous, a regular provider of mailbag questions. Do you guys remember your most embarrassing moment on the hockey field? This is a tough one. I probably have had many embarrassing moments. The most I know I've missed open goals before.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's like sitter saves.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Probably one of the more embarrassing ones, I think, was not actually game related. I think I was doing like a halftime sprint a long time ago, and I, in an effort to try and win, I try to go and put my momentum too far forward and basically fell over the finish line. So, yeah, that's probably one of the more embarrassing ones for me.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't going to say you pulled your hammy doing that.
No, I didn't. No.
Knife in mid-race?
No, I didn't, thankfully.
I think for me, like many embarrassing moments sort of on the field. But yeah, one that comes to mind, that was when I was younger, was I was walked to the back of the net on a PCD, a penalty corner defence, and leant back to look through the net, and the top part of my helmet, there's like a little part, I don't know if you know this about goalkeeping helmets, but there's a little part on the top where there's like a attachment where the elastic kind of moves through the helmet to sort of keep it all in one piece. It got caught in the netting, and the penalty corner was happening, and I was my helmet out of the netting, and one of my teammates saw it happening and quickly helped me get it out, and so I could get out just before the shot happened. But yeah,
That's
was not my finest moment, and I was glad it happened when I was younger because now I'm very alert to the fact that the net cannot be your best friend.
That's brilliant. I'm assuming because it happened a while ago, there's no video reference at all.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
very grateful that I grew up before the rapid video technology time period. There's no video evidence at all.
No, I love that. Thank you to both of our mailbag questions. Of course, keep an eye on the Hockey WA Instagram story and send us your questions. We would love to answer them. So anything can be sent through. There's not really anything that we won't answer unless, obviously, it's not PG. So send us through your questions. We love to answer them. We've got plenty more shows left. And of course, the Hockey One season is coming up as well. So anything related to the Premier League, hockey in general, the Hockey One, international hockey, we'll be able to answer it for you. All right, Joce, let's look at the penultimate round in the Stiles Electrical Premier Leagues. We'll start with the ladies. UWA having a 7-0 victory over Raiders to start the round. Jess Butterworth, Bella Ramshaw, Prada Heron, Shani Nelson, Seisha Pillay all got singles. Britt De Silva with a double. That should lock them in for finals, and I think that's probably all we need to say about that game.
Yeah, definitely. Good week for them. Locked them in for finals.
Absolutely. Next game was a 3-0 victory for Lions over Wasps. Had to do it tough for a little bit here, Lions. 1-0 up until three-quarter time and then got the 2 in the fourth quarter. It was double to Maria Guastavino and Chelsea Turner also getting on the scoreboard as well. It was a milestone game for Jordan Edwards. So congratulations to Jordan. I think it was game 100, I think it was. I'm just bringing it up. Game 100, yes, for Jordan. So congratulations to Jord. Yeah, but a comfortable victory. A Steph Kershawless is definitely more appetizing than one when she's playing. So, but some great, some good names in there in the Wasps team. A very young team.
Yeah, definitely. It's a team that's really grown and grown this year. It's been really great to see that happen. But yeah, Lions showing their class and showing that they have a really strong PC threat that carries them over when games are tight and they're struggling to score on the outfield.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-0, the scoreline between Reds and Whitfords. Lucy Barrett on the scoreboard. Britt Wang, Abby Davies, Georgina Minter, Peyton Ritchie, Jane Claxton, if you don't mind, and a double to Bella Connolly. Jane did talk me through her goal. I'm still fascinated by her field goals. It's always been her Achilles heel, and I feel like she could score more field goals, but I tried to do as much work as I could with her at Vic Park when she was around. But she just loves passing, I guess.
So much better at setting everyone else.
Yeah.
But no, she will take the opportunity when it comes, and she did have a nice little slotted goal from the top of the circle, so it was good to see her get on the score sheet. But yeah, a nice end to the season for the Red Girls, although disappointing that we didn't make finals, but good to end on a high.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-1, the score in the broadcast game on Sunday between Melville and YMCC. Such an even game, this one. Jane and I lucky to call that on livehockey.com.au. Shoko Kanavuji opened the scoring with a deflected penalty corner, and then her Japanese compatriot for Melville, Yu Asai, went down and absolutely clattered one into the backboard, like took it to the right and smashed it past the postie. Poor Grace Whitaker probably would struggle to see it, I reckon, because that was humming, that one. And a couple of late opportunities for YM, but Melville held on. Maddie Woods, very, very good in goals. Made some crucial saves. Yeah,
she's had a good season by the sounds of it. But yeah, great to hear that was a good hit out for those two teams. They've been quite evenly matched all year and have both made some great improvements. They haven't really had too many massive losses. They've always been a tough opponent to come up against each week. So really exciting things for the league going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. The last game of the round was, I don't know if we were going to call it an upset. You technically can. Third-placed Hale with a 3-0 victory over first-placed Westside Wolves, only their second loss for the year for Wolves. A double to Kirst Dwyer and a single to Mickey Spano. That's a huge win for Hale. Look, I don't think it does much in regard to their position on the ladder. But that's real confidence coming into finals, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think also, is it back-to-back losses for Wolves or close on it? They've had a
Pretty close, yeah. They did win, I think, last week. They just got over the line. Oh, no, it is back-to-back. I lie, yeah. Third loss of the year. My apologies.
bit of a momentum shift for that team, although not doubting them at all. They've got a lot of experience and a lot of firepower within them, but interesting sort of change in form from a team that was almost untouched.
Yeah.
To coming into finals, other teams are getting a bit of confidence against them. So eager to see how they bounce back because I'm sure they would.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of opens up first place now on the ladder. Wolves do sit on top still on 48 points. They are only 3 points clear of Lions, who can potentially catch them this weekend because they actually play each other, which is fascinating. So first place on the line this weekend. We'll get to that shortly. Hale locked themselves into third. Vic Park locked into fifth because they had the bye. UWA only 1 point behind them, but can only really go fourth or fifth. So they're on 34 points. Unfortunately, Wasps now 4 points away from UWA, so they won't be able to make the finals. So the top five effectively set for the ladies. First position up for grabs this weekend. Maddie Radcliffe still leading the Jackie Pereira leading goal scorer on 25 goals. Wasps and Vic Park open the round, Joce. I think Vic Park should win this game.
Yeah, I think the team is coming in with a bit better form, and they've just got a bit more depth to their team lineup with some national squad members missing this weekend as they get ready for the Oceania Cup. So yeah, I'd agree with.
Yep,
Vic Park will get the win.
Wolves and Lions. So essentially, the winner finishes on top. If it's a draw, Wolves will stay there, but Lions actually have a better goal difference than Wolves. So if they win, they can finish on top.
Yeah, definitely. I think big motivation for Lions to win. I feel like Westside Wolves won't want to go 3 losses in a row, so I feel like we will see them rebound this week and rebound quite well, but it will be a tough game. Maybe I'm going to go a Wolves 2-1 win.
2-1. I think it could be a draw.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm going to go a draw for this one, but that's going to be a ripping game. Like that's probably something we didn't see coming all year, is Wolves be dismantled from the top, but it's a real possibility this weekend. Melville and North Coast Raiders. Been a tough year for North Coast Raiders. I think Melville should win this game.
Yeah, Melville have really come into some good form in the last few weeks, and they've really solidified their structure under Jeremy. So, yeah, I feel like they might be able to keep that going and, after a good draw against YM, have a bit of momentum heading in. So, yeah, I'd agree.
YMCC and Hale. After Hale's win on the weekend, they're firing. I'm going to go with Hale here.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that, for sure.
And the last game of the 2025 home and away season sees Whitfords hosting UWA. I'm going to assume Whitfords will have a tough day at the office. So UWA, I'm going to say probably for both of us.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's look at the men's results in the Stiles Electrical Premier League. And it started with Reds and Whitfords. 7-3 win for Reds over Whitfords. Singles to AJ Lockley, Blake Govers and Jeremy Haywood, and 4 to Brodie Foster. And great. He's just come back like he never left, really. He's scored each week. Sam Ledane, Jacob Weatherly and Anand Gupta on the scoreboard for Whitfords. Good win for Reds, but do you think they would be concerned with conceding goals?
I think, yeah, it definitely looked like a game that was a lot of attack, not a lot of defence at times. Reds were really chasing a high goal difference. So I think they'll reassess this week, obviously going against Fremantle in a must-win game for them. They'll tighten up that defence as they head into that game. But yeah, I think they're going okay.
Yeah, they're going okay, that's for sure. The top of the table clash between Fremantle Coburn and Vic Park ended in a 2-2 draw, thanks to Fremantle doing what they have done so very well all year, scoring in the 60th minute. Erin Hazel on the scoreboard with a penalty corner. Jack Welsh scored earlier in the game. Kai Willett and Kye Stirrat both scoring for Vic Park. This was a cracking game of hockey for those that were there in attendance. A real finals feel, some elite players playing. And like I said, Fremantle Coburn just finding a way to not lose. And it's so impressive because that's what good teams do.
Yeah, definitely. They've had some excellent form throughout the year. One loss for the whole year, and they have been sort of the killer at that 60th minute goal. So looking really strong and formidable force heading into final.
Yeah, absolutely. UWA with a 9-0 victory over North Coast Raiders. Singles to Lockie Buzzico, Ethan Yem, and Max Nelson. I believe that would be Max Nelson's first Premier League goal, if I'm not mistaken. Max Pittance with a double. I haven't heard Max's name before, so I'm going to guess that's his debut. And 2 goals on debut was an impressive effort. Then 4 goals and a yellow card to Nathan Abrams. So a good day at the office for the UWA Hockey Club. Goals galore at the UWA turf. The next game of the round, Mods, Old Guildford and Wasps, that was stopped after 6 minutes, and I'm only going to assume that is because of the weather. And I'm fairly certain the Guildford turf bubbles when it's heavy rain, so that will have to be replayed. To be honest, I'm not sure those 2 teams will be interested in doing that, and they might just call it a draw.
Yeah, they could do. It depends on when it was called off, but yeah, they have to play out the rest of the game.
Yeah,
or they might just decide to call it as the result.
Looks like 6th minute, so I'm going to assume they're going to.
They'd have the whole game.
Yeah, they have to play the whole game. Yeah, so fascinating to see what happens there because by the time they play that, it'll be the end of the season, and it doesn't really affect either team.
No.
So. We look at a comprehensive 7-1 victory to Westside Wolves, over Westside Wolves. Liam Flynn with a hat-trick, Sam McCulloch with a double, Charlie Johnston and Jack Pearce in his, 100th a game for Hale on scoreboard. Ali Murray on the scoreboard for Wolves. Wolves had a great week. They played the remaining 30 minutes against Reds and scored 3 more goals and won that game. And then have completely flipped it against Hale over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, fascinating week for them, and something that I think might hinder their chances of making the finals with a goal difference lower than any other team in the race. It will make it a very difficult challenge for them to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. Last game of the round was the broadcast game as well, and was an absolute ripper too. Melville defeating YMCC 5-2. I could tell you the Staines boys were very, very impressive. I think it's 4-2, sorry. It could have been 5-2, but there was a goal which actually happened after the clock went to 0. So the hooter didn't go, clock went to 0, and the guys scored. So it was 4-2. My apologies. James Day, Matt Willis, and a double to Jake Staines, one of which I should say was absolutely slapped into the roof, and poor Tyler just had no ability to even probably see it, to be fair. Luke Blee got a double for YMCC, but that's 3 losses in a row now for YMCC, and they also lost umpiring points for not providing an umpire, so they've been brought back into the pack very, very quickly, and we'll look at the ladder now, Joss. So Fremantle Coburn remain at the top of the ladder with 46 points, 1 point clear of Vic Park. UWA on 43 points, so that top 3 is essentially locked. They can't change except for their positions. YMCC stay in 4th on 37 points, and the chasers include Melville on 36, Reds on 36, Hale on 35, and Wolves, as you just mentioned, on 33, but with a -1 goal difference. So out of the upcoming games, even if Wolves win, they probably don't make the finals because the other teams have a better goal difference than them. So probably just out of the race, unfortunately.
It'd be a monster win if they did it.
Yeah. And let's have a look who they play over the weekend.
Play mod.
Okay. Liam Flynn with 38 goals leading and essentially secured the Eric Pearce leading goal scorer for, I don't know, probably the 15th season in a row, yeah. Let's have a look at this week's fixtures, Josh. So the Wolves do play Mods Old Guildford. That's the first game of the round, so you imagine they're going to do as much as they can to try and get as many goals as they can to give themselves some sort of chance, although I think they're going to need like 20, really, which I can't see happening at all.
Yeah, they need an obscene amount of goals. It'd probably be a league record win.
Yes.
To get it done, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So.
No. Calculations tell us it technically is. Wolves, I'm sure for both of us, probably one of the 3 games of the round at the Bateau Turf, Fremantle, Coburn and Reds. Now, Fremantle, Coburn need to win to secure top position. Reds need to win to secure a finals berth.
Yep.
Are you going to stick with Reds?
I'm going to have to go Reds.
Yep.
Just give them a chance. I think they would be an exciting team to have in finals. So, yeah, we'll go with Reds.
I'm going to go with Fremantle, Coburn because I just think they are the best team at finding a way, and they've done it for most of the season. So Fremantle, Coburn for me to get it done and secure top position. Melville, who are sitting in 5th, will play North Coast Raiders. They should win this game, and that will secure them finals. Wasps and Vic Park. Vic Park need to win this to give themselves a chance of finishing on top, although they will know their fate considering they play, 2.5 hours after Fremantle, Coburn and Reds. So Vic Park will know what they need to do by that point. If Reds beat Fremantle, Coburn, there's a chance to finish top. If not, they still should beat Wasps, although Wasps beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah, and there's nothing like, I don't know, if you know that you're out of finals and you don't make someone who's in finals or vying for a position in finals, there's just something about going away and knowing that you've just ruined their life. Yeah,
and that'll be a very Wasps thing to do to Vic Park. This is the other game of the round. Effectively, there's 2, Fremantle, Coburn and Reds, and this one, YMCC and Hale at the Lemnos Turf. YMCC have to win. Well, both teams effectively have to win, and the winner will be giving themselves a very good chance to play finals.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. YM home game, hey?
Yes.
I'm going to go with
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with Hale. I think...
Go draw.
You go draw? Yeah, okay.
I'll go draw.
Go draw, okay. And UWA rounding it out against Whitfords, who I think they should beat. Let's just quickly roll back to the ladder, Joce, because let's talk about all these potential opportunities. So YMCC and Hale. YMCC win, they will finish in 4th spot. If they lose, they will effectively drop out of the 5 because Hale will jump them. We're going to say Melville will win against Raiders, so they will go to 39 points.
Yeah.
And secure themselves a finals berth. Hale, if they win, will go to 38 points. And then that will depend on what happens in the Reds and Fremantle Coburn game. If Reds win, they'll also go to 39 points. But then we'll have to wait to see what happens between YM and Hale. Hale win, Reds will stay in. YM win, they obviously will stay in. Any draws amongst that throws a cat amongst the pigeons.
Let's not do the math on that.
Yeah, so that's... Look, Melville should win, so they should secure a finals berth. YMCC, Reds and Hale are all going to depend on the results. So
yeah, YMCC and Hale will have a really good picture because Reds Freo is the first game of the weekend. So
yes,
both teams will know what their potential fate is given that result and potentially making the same assumptions as us that Melbourne will have a win on the weekend.
Yep, it's a huge end to the season and such a fascinating way it's played out. Reds could have almost secured themselves finals if they'd got points out of the game against Wolves, the midweek game. Yeah, so they could have actually been on 39 points or even 37 and level with YMCC. But nonetheless, is a huge weekend of hockey in the Stiles Electrical Premier League. Make sure you get out and support your teams just before the final series, which is going to be just as big as this final round. Hockey WA is thrilled to have the continued support of Stiles Electrical Services as the naming rights sponsor of the 2025 Premier League men's and women's competitions. With over 25 years of experience in sports lighting, Stiles Electrical Services is committed to supporting hockey's growth in WA by assisting clubs with floodlighting upgrades and strengthening pathways for athlete development. Their ongoing support will help enhance one of the world's strongest domestic hockey competitions, and we cannot thank them enough for their support. Visit stileselectrical.com.au to find out more about Stiles Electrical and how they can help your club. Time to chat to one of our players from the Stiles Electrical Premier League. We're going back to the men, and if you're wondering where Joce has gone, that is because we pre-recorded this interview because our player is part of the Perth Thundersticks men's squad. From the Vic Park Panthers, we've got Kye Stirrat. Welcome to the show, Kye.
Hey, Joce, thanks for having me, mate.
Thank you for being available. Now, as I mentioned, we got a pre-record, so you can get to training tonight and obviously do your work with the Thundersticks group ahead of the Hockey One. But let's talk about life at the Vic Park Panthers this year. Let's start with the weekend. A 2-2 draw, which is what you probably didn't want. A 60th minute penalty corner, and Freo doing what they've done so well all year. Take us back to the game and give us your thoughts on how it went.
Yeah, look, it was obviously a bit of a disappointing finish for us, with them, as you said, scoring after the siren to equalise it. But there's some positives to take away for us. It was a finals-like game playing down at Freo. You know how it is. They've got a very passionate supporter base, and it's a bit of a fortress for them down there. So yeah, it brought a finals-like feeling. So it was a good experience for us, and yeah, definitely some positives to take away. And I look forward to hopefully seeing them again in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. It was certainly a finals-like game. It was very quick, a parochial home crowd, and it definitely had that feel. So I certainly agree with you there. The season to date, look, it was shaky at the start, wasn't it, for the group? And I think you were sitting 7th-ish, maybe 8th even at one point. But basically since Jake Wetton has come back, the boys haven't lost a game, with obviously the only draw being in there on the weekend. Tell us how it's felt from your point of view now that finals are officially locked in and you're locked into the top 3 as well.
Yeah, look, obviously a pretty handy addition to have back in Wedo. But yeah, it just seemed to have clicked for us in the past sort of 10 or 11 weeks. It's not just the top end players. Everyone's been stepping up, playing their role, and yeah, we just seem to be playing some good hockey. Certainly as good a hockey as I've seen since I've been at Vic Park for the past 5 or 6 years. So it's exciting. I know a lot of us don't have a lot of finals experience, but yeah, it'll be exciting to see where we can go this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Only a handful of finals in the last couple of years. I think we've made the elimination final and been knocked out on both occasions. So you're right, there isn't a lot of finals experience, but someone like Matt Dawson, who obviously has played most of the year, and obviously Wedo will bring a fair amount of just general experience, which will obviously help the group. Speaking of Matt Dawson, he is one of the assistant coaches, or he's the assistant coach, along with Phil Holbert. Tell us how you've, as one of the leaders in the group, tell us how you felt about the coaching setup with obviously Matt taking on some sessions when Phil, obviously, who is doing both Premier League teams at Vic Park, the men and the women, goes over to work with the girls.
Yeah, it's nothing short of a miracle what Holby does, really. Juggling both, 2 Premier teams in the women's and the men's, and doing it successfully with both locked into finals, I believe.
Yep, I think that's correct.
Yeah, so what he does is amazing. Some afternoons he gets to the stadium at 5 o'clock and doesn't leave till 9:30 when he's juggling both teams as well as his kids' hockey. So it's amazing what he's done. And I think that Dawson has just been a great addition to that. He takes a bit of the load off his shoulders when the trainings are on at the same time, and takes sessions, as you mentioned. And then the work he does in the background with putting together video clips of our games, it's been invaluable for the team. And I think the boys have bought into it a lot and watching the game in their spare time. And then doing a debrief usually Thursdays before the game. It's been a very valuable addition to our team this year.
It certainly helps having people committed like that, doesn't it? And it makes it easier for the buy-in when it's always happening on a weekly basis and getting done, and allows people to learn. So no, it's been fantastic to have them both leading the men's group this year. One more game to come in the regular season before we get into the finals. You take on Wasps on Saturday at the Perth Hockey Stadium. A win still sees you with a possibility of finishing on top, obviously depending on what happens in the Freo game. But tell us about Wasps. We lost to them, obviously, Anzac Day. There's some retribution to be had. But yeah, tell us about this Wasps group and what the boys will be looking to aim for in the final game of the season.
Yeah, the Wasps, it's always a funny game with Vic Park against Wasps. They always seem to be, feels like a bit of a derby feel about it with Wasps. So it's always a tight game. There's never a blowout or anything like that. And they've actually had the upper hand on us the past few years, I reckon. So it's be a tough game. They probably haven't had the season that they would have dreamed for, but they are. It's definitely going to be a challenging game, and we're going to have to play it like it's a final as well. And hopefully we can get the win, and then barracks for Reds, I think, against Freo.
Certainly. That's going to be an absolute ripper as well, Reds and Freo. It is a little bit of a derby feel to it, being that both clubs are so close to each other. And you're certainly right; they have certainly had the upper hand on Vic Park, especially Anzac Day. For those that follow both clubs, mate, finals. We touched on it short just before finals. Obviously coming up. It's a tough slog, and inexperience is sometimes a good thing in finals as well. But how are you looking at finals? When they come up.
Yeah, it'd just be a good experience, really. Like, as I mentioned, there's not many people with finals experience in our team, so it'll be good to get out there. I'm sure the level heads of the experienced players like Weller and Dorse, as we've mentioned before as well, will help in the finals. And getting the double chance will be handy, but hopefully we don't need it. And get out there and get a couple of wins.
Awesome, mate. Look, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Good luck to you and the boys on the weekend and the upcoming final series when it gets there. Thank you for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best. Well, it's time for Around the Grounds, and Joce has rejoined the show. Welcome back, Joce. This week on Around the Grounds, we have the Chief Growth Officer at Hockey Australia. I'll get it out. Suzanne Henderson, welcome to the show, Suzanne.
Thanks very much for having me, Joce.
No, thank you for your time. Very interested in this chat because growth is something that obviously hockey looks to continue to do. So fascinated to see what your answers are to some of our questions. But what we like to do first is ask our guests their coffee order.
I'm pretty simple, just a skinny latte with 1 sugar, thanks.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's amazing. We've had lots of people with different milk, and we might have had someone with a skinny before. I can't quite remember. But we have lots of almonds and things like that. So it's always nice to get something a little bit different.
Yes, sure. Well, we've got that in our team as well. I think there's variety of people with lots of different milk orders. So I just go very straight vanilla.
It can get very exotic these days, can't it, Suzanne?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Suzanne, can you tell us a bit about your role with Hockey Australia as a Chief Growth Officer? What does that sort of involve?
Yeah, so basically I head up the growth team at Hockey Australia. So there's 6 people in that team now, which is amazing that we've actually got this many staff. So we've got a participant engagement and growth manager, and his role really is to develop the whole Hook and Hockey program and the Play Well projects. Then we've got Amy, who is our participant experience manager, and she looks after schools and club development. Then we've got Jo, and she's our workforce development manager, which covers coaching, officiating, and sort of the volunteer space. I've got Greta, which you obviously all know, and she's the Social Impact and Participation Coordinator. So really, I guess, manages all our DEI activity as well as the Australian Hockey Foundation and the work that we do to deliver hockey in remote regional areas. And then Toby, finally, our Member Services and Community Support Coordinator. So he manages all the membership inquiries, the database, and member engagement survey and analysis. And I guess my role is to lead that team, to be part of the executive and to support them in all the work that we do in order to try and grow hockey in Australia.
Awesome.
Yeah, incredible work and a very diverse portfolio there, making sure we cover all aspects of the sport, which is amazing. What made you want to take on this role? Like, what appealed to you about working in hockey in particular and in the growth area as well?
Well, I've been involved in hockey since I was about 8 years of age, so I still play now even, so, and coach. And so, look, I've grown up around hockey, loved hockey. I went to uni and did a sort of health promotion degree back in the day, and then sort of went on to do sort of a business and HR. So that's sort of my background. But I've been involved in hockey. I've met my partner through hockey. I have lifelong friends through hockey. And an opportunity, I used to work, my first job really was with what is now SIA, which was Australian Sports Drug Agency back in the day. So dealing with, athletes, project management, all that type of stuff, loved sport. I also then worked with Hockey Victoria for a long time and started off as their project officer for women and girls, so trying to increase participation for women and girls. So I have a strong passion in that space. And then when this role came about, it was just sort of, a combination of all the work I'd done as a general manager of community development at HV and my sort of passion for the sport and to share what I love about the sport and encourage others to get involved.
Yeah, love that. It's always easier when you've loved the sport as well. So you get to understand what members are doing and what's happening around, and it's always very helpful, especially in this type of growth role, which is fantastic. Now, one of the big growth areas is the Hook into Hockey program. There's been a bit of a rebrand though. So can you tell us a bit more about the rebrand?
Yeah, when I first started, basically, Hook into Hockey was run in Victoria and a little bit of South Australia. So it wasn't a national product. And there was probably 99 clubs running it overall. And the feeling was we listened to all the member associations as to why there was an issue, as to why they weren't taking it on. And really came down to flexibility in the product. So we worked to look at this rebrand by sort of, I guess, new logos, a new way of doing things, not insisting that the program was so rigid in its structure. And clubs really started to take it on. So we started to look at, bibs in all the colours. We linked it to Hockey One because we thought it's an opportunity to develop new fans to the sport as well. And so we provided, I guess, equipment to clubs, provided some direction because some clubs did really want direction. We also provided incentives we paid for social media advertisements to try and attract new people into the sport. And we did a lot of education. So worked with all the member associations to go out to clubs and meet with them and talk about this with view to hopefully at some point we'll get a national sponsor, which is what we're aiming for, so that we can reduce the costs associated with this program. But since then, we've developed more resources. So we have a whole video set skills and abilities, which clubs have access to now. So people can utilise those resources and run their own programs. But we've sort of got to the point now that there's 322 providers around Australia. So it's national, and we're up by 15.9% in numbers, which is great. So the last count was 11,828 participants. And there's 428 Hook and Hockey programs being run around Australia at the moment. So, it's continuing to grow, has grown over the last 2 years since I've been involved, and we'll continue to work in this space. With next year, probably part of our focus will be on parent engagement, because we believe that's vital to keeping the kids in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good movement there, which is fantastic. Obviously, firstly, getting kids in at an early stage, and now to try and keep them in is obviously the key. With the other, I suppose, nationally bigger sports, pulling more kids away into their areas. So fingers crossed we can keep as many of those kids playing hook into hockey as much as possible. Another big change for the sport is that Hockey Australia is going to integrate FIH's Learning Academy for coaching and officiating. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's probably an area that Hockey Australia hasn't done a great deal of in the last few years. We were going to build out a whole framework of, it was supposed to be 32 modules, but really realistically, when we looked at that, and one being one person's role, that was probably going to take 10 years. So again, worked with all the member associations and the various people involved with their coaching and officiating. And we've looked at what the FIH is doing, and we've come to an agreement really that we're going to integrate from level 2 up, which was previously level 2. It's considered development level. So everything above that now is going to be FIH accredited. So what that means is that below that is the foundation level. So foundation level, Hockey Australia will still develop all the content for. So that's foundation support courses, foundation lead and facilitator courses. And again, remembering that's probably our biggest cohort in that space. So we'll develop sort of micro learnings and resources for that level. But above that, we'll, work with FIH. So what we're planning on doing is that we're training up trainers in October. So we've got 2 international trainers coming across, one from New Zealand and one Belgium, and they will train up 4 FIH trainers, and then we'll have another 20 people from around Australia who the MAs have nominated who will become FIH educators. And their role will be to roll out level 1 and 2 coaching and officiating courses throughout Australia.
Yeah, love that. That's really cool. I always see the FIH educator forums and things like that, and it's fantastic that HA's taken that on and developing people to then share the knowledge. I suppose it's always easier when you've got more people involved, which is fantastic. Last but not least, last thing we wanted to ask you before we let you go, and we've very much appreciated your time. There's been a lot of work done for schools and a lot of resources for teachers as part of the curriculum. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, again, last year we met with all our member association CEOs and participation leaders, and we walked out of there with what they wanted was a curriculum-aligned hockey resource that they could use to get into schools because they were finding it hard to get in. So we worked with a group of experts, teachers, educators, workforce development managers, and hockey people to pull together a resource that now has from prep to year 6, all the activities, everything's curriculum aligned. We've just completed a teacher e-learning PD, so that will be available. And we've actually started to sign up teacher ambassadors. So we've got 133 teachers now signed up who are prepared to go in and, teach hockey in their classrooms, which will continue to grow that. So, we understand that, this is the breeding ground and we're competing against lots of different other sports, but we need to have a presence. So we really need to increase our presence in the schools. Our next step is probably to look at year 7 and 8, and so looking at curriculum for that level as well. So lots of things happening in the school space, and we'll continue to pursue that.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I had hockey at school. Imagine that.
That would have been so good. So much better than playing soccer or footy all the time.
Yeah. Yes. Fantastic. And look, getting into schools is a great little link in with hook into hockey as well, and a hopeful eventuality of keeping people in the sport for longer, which is exactly what we want. Suzanne, thank you so much for your time and giving us a really great rundown on your role and your team's work over the last year and obviously into the future. We very much appreciate your time, and we appreciate you sharing everything that you have Thank you for your being on the Hockey Hour. It's been fantastic. All right, Joce, extra time. And like I said at the start of the show, wanted to give a bit of a goalkeeper vibe with you being here and take advantage of your thoughts, whether you like or don't like certain things or what you've thought about as a goalkeeper. Now, you've come up with a really good one. Let us know.
Yeah, so a few people have flicked this video to me on Instagram, but there's a video doing the rounds of a goalie up on an attacking penalty corner circle to help her team score a goal. I'm guessing late in the game, they're chasing the game sort of vibes. Thinking like a soccer goalkeeper going up to header corner sort of thing going on. And yeah, right now we can't do that within the rules and regulations of hockey, but could it be something that could be introduced? Yeah.
Now, to give a bit of a background on this video, it is from the 90s, so it's well before the rule came in that the goalkeepers need to stay in the 25. However, I like it. Like, why not, right? Like, the soccer goalkeeper comes out. Like, I kind of get why you do, like, say the rule is for them to stay in the 25, like with all the gear. But you know what? Like, if you're good enough to run around in the gear and go tackle someone on the just over the halfway line or just inside your own half, I reckon go for it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess even in my time, it's been a regression. So when I was young and playing goalkeeper, we could go all the way up to the halfway line.
Yep.
And then somewhere in my late teens, that moved back to the 25. And yeah, it makes sense. Like, we can't use anything but our stick outside of the circle anyway. And we do wear a lot of gear. So it is potentially a bit unsafe around other players if people are being reckless. But I think it'd be really cool to see goalies up there, just that extra number, like end of the game, 2-1 down, your team's earned a penalty corner, there's no chance for the other team to score anyway, and you just add an extra number in there. I think the players in that initial penalty corner defence are wearing some form of protection anyway.
Yep.
And of course, just like any other field player, if that goalkeeper was to do, and I think that'd also be probably a bit stricter on them, if the goalie was to do anything a bit outrageous, then rightfully so, they should be removed from the field of play and reprimanded for that, because we're not here to play hockey safely and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, okay. So if it was a case that you could have the goalie on the PCA, would you say that obviously clearly helmet would have to come off and then maybe gloves, and then you just go stick and kickers, or what do you reckon?
I don't know, like, does helmet have to come off? Like, is that a part of the art where goalkeeper has to keep wearing all the goalkeeping gear so their mobility and ability to impact the play isn't greatly increased? So if you are doing it, it is a real Hail Mary. Maybe the helmet for safety reasons, just more, not so much for the goalie, but for everyone around them so they don't get hurt by colliding with the helmet.
Yep.
But yeah, I reckon they should have to keep their gloves on, and they have to play. Yeah, it is. If you're going to take that risk, you've got to use the tools in your kit, and that is exactly what you wear on the field.
How would it work, do you think, then, if it breaks down? So the corner breaks down, obviously the goalie has to try and get back to the 25, but do you penalise the goalie on their choice to come up if, like, the ball's played into their kicker? Like, and
it'd be like a foot.
Yep, so you just play it like normal, you reckon? Yeah, okay.
Normal, even more probably scrutiny to the goalie, like pretty much if it hits any of your extra gear, that's a free hit against you. I mean, you could almost say no high balls into the goalie. Like, if it hits a goalie in the body, then play on sort of thing, because it's not going to hurt us.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, I think if you were to do it sort of with a minute or 2 minutes to go in the game and the other team wins a free hit out because they hit it into your foot and you've got to do a 75-metre sprint against a counter-attack.
It'll be fascinating.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah. How confident do you feel running 75 metres in your gear?
Against a hockey ball? Like, I can run 75 metres in my gear pretty quickly, but if someone passing a hockey ball, absolutely not.
No, there wouldn't be much chance. It would be more the sprint in the extra gear, right? Like, there's so many parameters to this, and I think, like, it's a really cool thought, right? Like, it's so cool to think, okay, well, what if we have an extra person? Look, 9 times out of 10 at the end of the game, you're probably sitting on the bench because they want an extra field player in those situations. But, like, also it's a risk-reward type thing as well. Like, is it a case, especially if you maybe like an extra time, a golden goal extra time where you do want to keep your goalie on because, you're drawing the game or whatever it is, or, you're down by 1 and, well, you're obviously drawing the game. Sorry, what am I talking about? you're drawing the game, and it's maybe it's a big risk, but also, the reward is also there.
Absolutely. And I think, you could be smart about it. Like, a goalie's not necessarily going to be the best person to get right in the goal face, but still, for a penalty corner to break down, the defence have to clear it out of the circle. And we're pretty good at diving and keeping balls in our vicinity, sort of in the area. So, like, could you be more that peripheral player? Keeps the ball in play so that your team can have another shot or earn another PC. I reckon that's where it'd be like a really good benefit to have them up there.
Yep. Yeah, okay. I like it. Well, tell us what you think about goalies and freeing them from the 25, allowing them to get out and just be a part of the play, and maybe join in the outlet. I don't know. That's potentially an option, right?
Maybe even like a team goal celebration, actually be able to be when we score a goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, tell us what you think. If you have any questions or any feedback on that, let us know, because it's a fascinating topic and one of our really, really good extra times. So let us know what you think. Joce, that's the end of the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Jace.
No, thank you for coming back, and I very much appreciate the last-minute call-up that you've got as well. We obviously hope Jane is feeling much better, but we are very lucky to have one of our best goalkeepers in the country with us on the show. Of course, make sure you follow the Hockey WA Instagram handle, hockey_WA, and check out the video highlights from today's show. Of course, all the info of things happening in WA hockey. Of course, give us a like or a follow on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We very much love bringing you the show and love all your feedback and all your questions, of course, for the mailbag. But another huge week of hockey ahead and a weekend of hockey ahead. Finals for all the other grades. So we wish everyone in finals all the very best. And of course, the last round in the Stiles Electrical Premier Leagues, which are going to be absolute belters before the final series. Thank you for your company. We'll see you next week on the Hockey Hour.